I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 9, and I got later diagnosis of juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. And I've had epilepsy for 20 years now. But we've found solutions to keep me pursuing my passions, which my main passion is horseback riding. And I'm currently taking 4 anti-seizure medications to help control my seizures. So my very first seizure, I had a tonic-clonic when I was 9. My dad and my brother and I were actually watching a DUI incident. So a drunk driver had gotten pulled over, and they were going all through all the steps and just walked the straight line. And we were just a bunch of looky-loos. Um, but the strobe lights is what set it off. And my dad looked over, and there I was, on the ground and not responsive. I had my second tonic-clonic 6 months later, and after having multiple seizures, I was given a diagnosis of epilepsy. Today, the seizures I have are tonic-clonics, but those have calmed down to kind of once or twice a year. But I do have daily seizures. I struggle with myoclonic jerks, absence seizures, drop seizures occasionally, and sometimes my seizures will cause me to they'll impact certain parts of my brain. So I may lose my vision, may lose my speech, I may lose the ability to move, stuff like that. We held on for hope that I would be that one it'd be that I'd grow out of it, we'd be able to manage it with seizures. We'd fall into that larger percentage of category. And we held out that hope for, I want to say, probably 4 years, Michelle. Um, but we eventually found ourselves at a comprehensive epilepsy center. We it didn't we went on with life as usual, is what we did. We thought that I would be able to manage it eventually. Eventually, we found ourselves at a comprehensive epilepsy center in New York City. Um, I underwent my first video EEG, and while I didn't have any visible seizures during that EEG, they captured enough subclinical information to give me a lifelong diagnosis of juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. And that diagnosis, that turned our world upside down. We were not expecting that. Um, I did not accept the diagnosis, and it's taken me probably over 12 years to accept the diagnosis. I didn't want to say the word seizure. The word seizure and epilepsy were not allowed in the house, but we still had to be safe about it. We did. That diagnosis in that moment was independence taken away from you. Um, the doctor asked me one, do you have any questions? And I remember, for some reason, the only question I had was, will I be able to drive? I don't know why that was my question, but it was my question. And the answer was no. I'd never had my license before, so it's not like it was getting taken away from me. Um, but driving is a lot of, I mean, it can be a big deal. But more than that, it was, and I learned this kind of later, the stigma. I mean, the diagnosis of epilepsy at first was independence taken away. Later, it was I mean, this is something that's feared. This is something that's you don't talk about. This is taboo. This is um the just the mist and when I the mist surrounding it were shocking to me, and I was really introduced to that when I returned when I got home and started class again. My classmate asked me, "Are you contagious?" And that's when it really hit home. Like, okay, I'm now a patient, and people are scared to be around me. um so I think at first the diagnosis was my independence is gone. And then the second one was, wow, this is, I'm being looked at kind of differently. I'm struggling. My grades at school went down the drain, and you get to know who your real friends are, who your friends kind of go on with. Also, it's hard because your friends, those friends that are close, that do stick with you, they then become sort of what I referred to as babysitters, because it is a constant, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? So instead of kind of being that wanting to be that normal kid again, you're that person, are you okay? Are you okay? And that can change that relationship. I've tried, let's see, I want to say close to maybe 14 different medications. Um, and cocktails, some of which, let's see, Lamictal, Zonegran, Topamax, Depakote, Keppra, Felbutol, to name a few. Zonegran, I remember we had the Zonegran diet. I lost quite a bit of weight on that as a result of loss of appetite. And I was taking that medicine in middle school, so my friends got kind of jealous, quite frankly. Um, let's see, but the main side effects I have that are kind of consistent throughout um, are dizziness, nausea, general malaise. And then my current cocktail is Depakote, Felbutol, Keppra, and Epidiolex. Epidiolex is a pharmaceutical CBD. And with Depakote, we learned um, about um, the, the dehydration it can cause, and the amount of water. I spent a lot of time dry heaving with Depakote for a while, and we learned that I need to take in a lot of extra water as a result of the medications. The cocktail that I'm on right now, I'm gonna say, is none of them have been successful in that they've managed my seizures completely. I still have seizures every day, so in that respect, no. Um, but they are successful in that this is the best control I've had over my seizures. And since my diagnosis. One thing with the medications and the side effects is sometimes you can be on so much medication, such high doses of it, that the side effects of the medication impact your quality of life more than the seizures themselves do. And we started experiencing that, um, especially with the Depakote. So we started looking into the vagus nerve stimulation implant, and we went ahead with it. So I do have a VNS implant in me, and a large part of that, and it's going off right now. That's my voice is going off. But a large part of that decision was because the side effects were impacting my quality of life. And while we don't know what the VNS does, we really don't know how it works, but we do know that it's doing something. And I know that because one of the settings on it is called an auto-sim. So if your heart rate increases a certain amount in a certain period of time, it will automatically go off and give your brain that little extra boost of stimulation, whatever it does. And mine automatically goes off about 20 times a day on average. I'm not a candidate for brain surgery. My seizures start in the very center of my brain and kind of expand out. So, I'm not a candidate for brain surgery, but I am a candidate for the VNS, and we decided to go ahead with that.